Gold Invest. Explore opportunity.
So good day, everyone. Welcome to the latest goldinvest.de CEO interview. We managed to get Glenn Jessome onto the show, CEO of emerging silver producer Silver Tigre Metals, trading on the TSX Venture with the ticker SLVR. And the company just recently announced another major milestone on its way to production. And we hope Glenn can answer some of our questions. Welcome, Glenn.
Well, Bjorn, thank you so much for having me on again. Very much appreciated. I'm a bit tired this morning, I must admit. A world tour on your side of the pond. We went Monte Carlo. I think we were in Paris. We went Zurich, and then right into Geneva. And, you know, even though a little bit of a down market, the interest was incredible. We had 40 and 50 and 60 people every time I stepped in a lunch or a dinner. I saw your partner, Sven, in Zurich on, I think that was Wednesday night. And boy, what a night that was. I said, I'm going to not talk for more than 2 hours. We started at 7 o'clock. So engaging, people wanting to talk. And Florian Grummies was with me, so he's telling, you know, the view of the price and what's going on in the Middle East. We stopped around 11:30, and it was a fantastic night, but really engaging, and everybody thinks, I mean, the message I heard there from so many was, you know, this Middle East conflict will end, and this could be that trigger, that black swan. Then on the other side of that is that long bull run continuing in precious metals, sort of like we saw after 1973. So exciting. It's a great time to keep telling everybody about Silver Tigre. And I think, did you see that press release we put out last week?
Yes, actually, that was, of course, why we would like to talk to you. Before we do that, though, can you give us a very short synopsis for new viewers?
Sure.
What this Tigre is about?
Well, that's a great idea, because I just keep thinking that everybody on your channel knows about Tigre, but there's always new listeners. So look, Halifax, Nova Scotia is where I sit today, finally back from that marketing tour for Tigre in Europe. Our group, I'm a part of that group out of Halifax for almost 30 years, Mexico only, have gone there and built silver mines. The group has built 3 so far, a number they've sold to majors, companies outside of that, an incredible discovery, development, and put in production hit rate. Big silver mines that traded in America, Canada. We now have a number of projects we're putting into production, but we're here to talk about Tigre, a journey from 2017, a long journey. We have raised about $300 million for the company. We've still got $100 million USD almost in the bank. That's very important as we start to build El Tigre. Hundreds of thousands of meters, MREs, PEAs, PFSs, forget all that. We received the first approval since 2019 from the Mexican government to build our, that's the first one for a new mine, building that new surface mine now, November of 2025. And we're full on. That exciting press release was all we're in business for. So proud of the team. It's what every junior miner wants to put out, and many don't. The number some people say is 1 in 1,000. Exploration companies will get to say, like we did, that we will commission and do our first pour of silver gold bar, doré bar at El Tigre, not that far from now, in December of 2027. So exciting. The biggest news we've ever put out, because that's, almost 8-9 years of all of that work to be able to say you're 1 in 1,000. And we're doing this, we'll have it in production in less than 10 years. Average time, if you look at at what's the factual information, is 17 years. So ahead of schedule, have it, going to make some gold and silver. Can't wait to hold that bar up with you, Bjorn, in 18 months or so, a little more. What a culmination of a journey. And I really think that, and I've said it for years, the companies you want to invest in are the management teams that have done it, like our group has, that have the asset, that will get through development and actually get into production in a world where, silver probably, in my opinion, now is the most strategic metal in the world.
Okay. Well, that certainly sums it up nicely. And let's talk about that news release you put out then. That was the news about the EPC contract. Also, that's engineering, procurement, and construction contract being awarded to a company that's going to take that over for you.
I'm going to jump in there, Bjorn, and not take over for us. So here's how we do this, is you always have a decision to make. We have an internal team that could build this mine easily. Francisco Albalez, one of the best mine builders in Mexico, for sure, in Sonora, where we are. a whole career of building some of the biggest surface mines, drilling them, developing them, building them, and then running them. He did that for a company called Argonaut. People could go look at that history. And he joined us a couple of years ago to be our COO. Under him, he's put his team of key lieutenants that did all that work over the last 15 years in Sonora all back together. We could do it ourselves. But you can deliver, you can go faster when you have it, as you said, it's called an EPCM contract, add management onto the end of what you said. They work directly for your management team. Your management team is on the mountain with them, but they bring unlimited. This is a big, big company that we awarded to, KCA and KCA Norte, which is their Mexican office. They are the best surface mine builders on the planet, in my opinion, and management and procurement. They have done a lot of the big ones in the U.S., a lot of the big ones in Mexico over decades. This group, it's so funny, when they birthed their first surface mine, this is how long these guys have been around, back almost 30 years ago, the KCA did the EPCM contract. So that's what you call longevity, and we're so happy to have them aboard. They work for us. We run it, they work for us, but they bring unlimited engineers, technical people, geologists, on and on and on. So that's very, very exciting. That was one thing, but people may have not seen WSP. They may know them as Golder. We think they're the top engineering company in the world with respect to pit slope design, heap leach design, waste dump design. And they have been working with us since last summer, and they're the other experts we have. We like experts. And you bring all the experts together with your team, and you can be very confident when we say, we're going to execute. This is the execution phase now, Bjorn. All the work, we have a commercial mine, open pit and underground, full stop. That's what we have. And we're basically going to build both. The surface mine first, and then we'll just transition to the underground. We don't have time to talk about that today, but this is going to be a big, long life silver mine, and we're building it. And we were confident enough after all that, and all of this, our team and these wonderful, wonderful, the best in the world, EPCM and the engineering contract with respect from WSP to say in December 2027, commissioning, first pour. Very exciting, and I'm so proud of my team for delivering that.
And you know, December 2027, people don't know about the mining industry. You might think, oh, that's a long ways off, but actually that's very, very fast for bringing a mine into production from where you're at.
People will be out there. I mean, I just said 17 years is the average. We'll do this in a little less than 10. But, you know, you see some of these builds through 3 years, 4 years, 2.5 years. So, yeah, we're going to do this very quickly, and the team are focused on doing that. Now we just have to execute and deliver.
Can you give us a bit more detail on what that means, the execution, what we're going to expect now to hear from the next steps?
Well, you know what you're going to see. We don't have time. We got 10 minutes here, I think, as we said. So now what you're going to see is you're going to see regular updates of construction. It'll say percentage complete, percentage of detailed engineering complete, on budget. Those are kind of the updates you'll see. And we're going to be very, as you know, I love to communicate with my shareholders. We're going to walk people through that process as things really start happening, as camps, big camps for 300, 400 people start coming together, as you start seeing the earthworks being done, as you start seeing the Merrill-Crowe processing being done, the heap leach being, we're going to share all that. So people come along. It's going to be real fun. And a lot of people have talked to me about this. You know, it's a rarity that you become interested in a developer. Some people say it's 1 in 1,000. And you're the shareholder of that. So you basically are attached to that, like some of your listeners are, and get to the point where they say, oh, wow, they're actually going to build this thing. And I'm going to watch along as they do it in a company that I invested in 1 year or 2 years ago and have already made a very good alpha return. But now we're just going to take it to the next level of becoming a producer. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm going to keep everybody apprised of where we are. Look, I'm not getting the numbers. We've been through them before. Maybe on another update, we can go through some of that to remind people. I think we should do an interview on that just to remind people how we love low CapEx, highly profitable mines. And our surface mine and our underground mine are that. And really walk through the economics again, because now those economics before were, what if they get the approvals to build it? What if they actually build it? What if they put a date out there where they're going to actually produce that first doré bar, which is a gold silver bar? That's all done. Now let's go back and remind the people of the numbers. But we won't do that today. We'll hold that for another day. But low CapEx, extremely profitable.
And then let me
guess,
just jump in very quickly, Glenn. You alluded to that already, and it's especially, of course, true for the new viewers on the program, is that you have made such a lot of progress over such a short time. And then we have the situation in the Middle East. So basically, everybody that got in early and listened to you is going to be happy still. But for the newer people, this is an opportunity, right?
Well, look, it was fascinating. I talked about that room in Zurich that night, and boy, did we ever unbolt everything. Florian Grummies, who people have heard me with on the Fireside Chats, and actually we did one from Zurich. Folks should find that if they can. I know you guys link to it sometimes, Florian's content.
Yeah, we do.
That was, I think, our number 8th or 9th. I can't remember, but Florian really laid it out, and I'm not going to be as eloquent as him. He's way smarter than me with respect to all of this price stuff. And if you look to guys like Druckenmiller, go find some of his very, very famous guy in the U.S. for predicting markets. These guys are saying that, sure, this Middle East, it's draining everything down. There's a liquidity. We're all going to go down. Gold and silver have gone down. Tiger's price has gone down. Do I know if it's the bottom yet? No, I don't know. It's very unpredictable. But this is what I'm going to tell you. Nothing changed. El Tigre has now got a first pour date. El Tigre has its EPCM contract. El Tigre is building the next great silver mine in Mexico. That is very valuable. And at some point, this will end. And if you look at some of what everybody's saying, the smart people, go look at some of this stuff online. What Florian's saying, what Druckenmiller is saying, this is kind of that final straw for that long upward trend in the precious metals prices. Look, JP Morgan is still calling for $6,300 gold at the end of the year. I think they're a little smarter than me. They probably know a little bit more. But what I guess you're right in saying is we're better than we were when we were trading at $1.30 or $1.40. We're half of that now. Tiger's on sale. So those that missed it didn't miss it. And those that came in early, I mean, they're so happy. But I do think that when we build this and we deliver, next year there's going to be down to 38 silver mines, true silver mines left in the world. We'll become the 39th in 2027. So basically, there's going to be great value in that. I think it's an absolutely wonderful buying opportunity. I always say that, I guess, but I don't. Sometimes I say that, we're of true value. We're moving up slowly. I just think right now the buying opportunity for those that are already in, that want more, or any new listeners we're talking to. I mean, I never thought, but for this Middle East thing, that maybe they would get the opportunity because we were just going like this in precious metals. It's here. Go listen to some of the smart people. They're all saying this is the trigger, the black swan for that long life precious metals story we saw maybe back in 1973 when we had something like this happen. If people remember, I think people that put in, what was the number? If you put $10,000 into gold after the oil crisis in 73, by 79, it was $243,000. So do I think something like that's coming? I can't predict that. Go listen to Florian's presentation. Go listen to Druckenmiller, who basically has been all over this since the Middle East thing started. Look at what JP Morgan are saying about the price of 6,300. It's all lining up nice for us. And the last thing, so happy we have all the money in the bank to execute this plan. So whatever happens, I'm just going to put my head down for 1, 2, 3 months on the team and just build towards December 2027. I think it's going to work out really well. Did you see the exploration? I mean, people, you always ask me about exploration. You're one of the few guys that I talk about building mines. You say, well, what about some new holes? Well, we addressed that in the press release. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so that's to the north. You're starting to the north.
So what happened? People understand, to get ready to build this great new silver mine, we have to finish other drilling that's not fun, that we don't press release, that's not, what's that word, sexy? It's geotechnical drilling. And it's metallurgical drilling. We've been at that hard here for the last while. So the drill team have been just in around the surface mine finishing all that off. Well, they'll finish in the next week or two. And they are biting at the bit, trust me, to get up to the north where we talked about, and we'll have a whole show on that too. I mean, I'll explain that. So that's another 10 or 15 minute sequence. What was up there, what we think we're going to find, what we've already found, as the next El Tigre zone that we've just built a beautiful surface and underground mine around. Could be another one sitting to the north. Well, in a couple of weeks, we're going to start drilling up there, exploration drilling again. So stay tuned. It'll be a month or more after that by the time we get the core and get it off the mountain and get it all assayed. But, did what we needed to do to be able to build the next great silver mine. And now remember, that's in 3 kilometers of 25. We're, as they say, go north, young man. Well, we're going north, and let's see what happens up there. It's going to be exciting.
Okay.
So, Bjorn, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, and we are running out of time anyways. Thank you very much for taking the time. And I think it's a good idea we talk again. We keep people updated regularly, and then we'll see how it all goes. Looking forward to all the updates. Thanks.
Always appreciate your time, Bjorn. Thank you.